I just got home from a month of road tripping through Scotland with my mum. And like I did last time I came back from a big trip, I thought it'd be fun to go through everything I brought home with me and see what I needed and what I didn't. Because when I went travelling Europe last year for 9 months, I took entirely carry-on. My main bag was 23 litres. It literally held a pair of clothes and my Birkenstocks. And I had a little day bag. But for this trip, my mum and I, because we were hiring a car, we checked luggage and we took a big suitcase, a day bag, and even a little like city bag. And I used most of it. It wasn't too much or too little. I do think though that my day bag had a lot of unnecessary things in it, a lot of electronics that I didn't end up using. Like I didn't use this camera at all. I really only used my phone to take photos and record. It's just gotten to such a good quality and it's so discreet and inconspicuous. You can pull it out, it immediately starts recording, you put it away, and the quality kind of feels good enough. So let's start with my suitcase. Oh yeah, this is like a random drawer. We've bought food containers. They're the best, particularly these collapsible ones. You can pack lunch and things from the supermarket in there. It's always good to kind of like have like a bowl on the go or something that you can just chuck stuff in, like a rubbish bin as well. So useful. And a postcard that I didn't end up using. My lock. My mum actually stayed in a few hostels with me, so we had to lock up our stuff a few times, but I didn't really use it anywhere near as much as when I was backpacking. And I also came home with 2 books. One, A Horrible Histories of Scotland, because why not? We learnt a lot about Scottish history, but it's always fascinating to hear more, and in a comedic way. And then I also bought Scottish folklores and fairy tales because I wanted to know more about like the kind of myths and legends surrounding the Kelpie and like even the Loch Ness. So now to open her up. Wow, in the top section I've got my beautiful kind of winter dress. I decided to be a bit fancy and pack my one dress that I have. It's covered in little toadstools, but I wore this a lot, quite a bit actually. Something I didn't end up using at all was my sarong. Mum and I always bring sarongs on a trip. They're great, you know, they act as towels, they act as like skirts and all these things. Mum's sarong this time doubled as a scarf, but I bought a scarf with me and I brought this as well. Like you can lie it on the ground as a picnic blanket and stuff, but didn't really use it at all, to be honest. I also used like the inside zip of this case as a laundry basket for dirty clothes and everything like that, to keep it separate from the rest of my stuff. And we also slipped in little air tags into each of our suitcases this time. The main compartment, first pair of shoes. I bought my sneakers, which I wore on the plane. I bought Birkenstocks, particularly because we were camping. I wanted some shoes that I could slip on as I walking around camp. I also bought thongs for the shower. My kind of what I thought was a luxury item but ended up being my most worn item of clothing was my gorgeous coat that I got in Amsterdam last year. Got it from a secondhand store and the lining inside was all damaged, so I got it for like half price. But my mum helped me reline it all and it's gorgeous. I love it so much and I wore it pretty much every day, especially at the start. And it was so cool to have like a very comfortable, functional, but also pretty coat that I could wear even when we were exploring castles and going on hikes. And it meant all my photos looked pretty. You know, I looked good in all of them because I had this amazing coat. I just had a basic set of toiletries, but I used the same toiletry hanger that I used when I was traveling Europe. And it's honestly the best. I use it now. My brother now has one, my mum has one, and you just hang it in the bathroom and I keep using it. Like I have hair ties and stuff in the top, clips and stuff in the middle, hairbrush, soaps, sunscreen, skincare, and it just kind of hangs all in this one basket. And there's actually quite a lot of space. Like I don't wear makeup at all really, so I don't need space for that, but like I think you could fit quite a lot in here. It packs down nice and neat into this tiny little like case as well, I guess. we had to bring towels because we were in hostels a lot and you have to pay extra for towels and stuff like that. So I brought a quick drying little shower. I did a triathlon competition and they gave us a finisher towel, so I decided to bring that one. A tote bag for carrying things around in. Like I said earlier, we did a lot of camping. We spent probably about 9 nights of like the whole month camping. And so my mum packed the 2-person tent into her suitcase, it's just a bit bigger, and then we both bought roll mats and sleeping bags. So that takes up the majority of my suitcase. Literally my roll mat, which is this foam hiking mat, which actually I loved so much, is the width of my suitcase. Like, it's literally takes up the entire width, but surprisingly very comfortable even though it's very thin. I know a lot of thru hikers use it, which is why I bought it, because I'm going to be doing that some point in the future, but my mum doesn't find it particularly comfortable at all, but I had a great time. Probably would have been better if I had an inflatable pillow or something like that, but we just like stuffed our clothes into packing cube cases, and I used my jacket as a pillow for a lot. So I had a sleeping mat and also a sleeping bag. It was raining a lot, so we also brought umbrellas. I think we were pretty lucky with the weather. It wasn't really hot summer weather. It didn't rain all that much, so that was nice. We went in the middle of June, July, so just as like summer was starting. I bought a rain jacket as well, the same one I took traveling last year. Turns out it's not actually completely waterproof, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's mostly water resistant. My scarf, my Harry Potter Hufflepuff scarf, if you can tell. Alright, on to clothes. So on the plane I wore this nice like black sweater kind of jumper and my classic Patagonia jumper that I got last year while traveling, which I absolutely love. It's very warm and it kind of acts like a purse almost, because it's got so many different pockets on the outside and in as well that I can store everything in. I only brought 3 t-shirts with me, 3 t-shirts and a long sleeve top, and I wore one of them on the plane. So I didn't have a lot of clothes actually in my suitcase. I kind of had them split between myself, the suitcase, and my day bag. I had a spare set of clothes in there as well. A t-shirt, leggings that I wore on the plane, my second t-shirt, my running shorts as well. I didn't do a lot of running, but they were actually really nice pajamas, so I'm quite happy I bought them. 1 like long black pants that I took traveling last year. My other classic traveling pants, which are these climbing pants that I love. Again, particularly while traveling, I need pants with lots of pockets. Even my leggings this time had pockets, because it's just nice to have everything on you, so you don't have to take a day bag with you wherever you go. You can just put things in your pockets. My third t-shirt, I brought 2 long sleeve t-shirts. One that kind of is my pajamas, and this long sleeve white under top that's really thick, and it went under my dress most of the time that I wore it to keep me nice and warm, but then I also wore it just by itself, and yeah, it's a really nice kind of bodysuit. But I fit all my clothes in these 2 packing cubes. They do a pretty good job. They're just off Amazon. This is my day bag. It was my brother's old uni bag that he's kind of gifted me, and in this front like kind of compartment at the top is where I always stash my portable charger. It's just so easily accessible. I can pull it out on the plane and like charge it, or like on a train. It makes it just easy. And in this top compartment I have a spork to go with my food container, my hard drive as well, which got all my photos and videos of the trip on it. Normally I wear that kind of around my waist in my passport like carrier, like under my clothes when I'm traveling, because it means a lot to me, and if it gets lost then I lose all of that, so that wouldn't be good. It's a little gift for my dad, some patches, pins for him, because he likes collecting pins. I love to edit videos and do a lot of writing and things like that, so of course I was gone for a month, so I had to bring my laptop with me. I find planning and booking things so hard on my phone. I can't do it. I need a bigger screen, like a laptop, to make sure that I'm not doing it wrong. Luckily for this trip, Mum planned it all in advance, so it was mostly set in stone. But it's nicer to just have a laptop. I like having my laptop with me most of the time. It doesn't add too much weight. I had a beanie that I brought with me as well. I just chucked it in here on the way home to kind of act as a eye mask on the plane. And I also have a change of clothes in here. This time I think most of my clothes packed into my suitcase. I just had my 1 pair of shorts in this bag. I have my hat, always need a trusty hat, more cables and charging blocks, as well as the adapter for the UK. Now I have a lot of camera stuff which I didn't really use because, again, I just used my phone. I also brought my GoPro with me, which I didn't use at all because we didn't really get in the water, and again I just had a different camera to use, but I brought this as well. I've been on a few trips where I've forgotten my GoPro and been miserable because of it, so I was like, I'm not forgetting this time, and I didn't end up using it at all. I have more tech in here, so I have adapters for my computer, and I also like to travel with this little portable printer. It's another luxury that I took with me last time, and I took with me on this trip, and I added lots of photos to my postcards because when I'm on a trip I like to remember the trip in a fun kind of different way. When I traveled Europe I had this giant map and I traced where I went on the map and I wrote down the names of everyone I met on the back. And for this trip I decided that I would collect postcards and write postcards on the back, and I'm going to turn it into like a little booklet. So I left like a little part of the postcard clear so that I could make like stamp holes through it and make a little and bind it a bit. And then on the front and back postcard I didn't write anything. I just printed out a bunch of photos from our trip and pushed that down. And that's something I could have done when I got home, but I just did it on the road. So it was kind of completely unnecessary. But I have that, and I also have the battery packs for this camera, which again I didn't really use at all. And finally I have my journals. I love journaling. You can probably kind of tell from the way I like to record my trips, but I brought 2 junk notepads that turned out very useful because we always seemed to need scraps of paper to jot something down. But then I brought my journal for this year, which is quite a hefty boy. Not sure how much I like it, but I'm committed now. Like, I've already written in this much of it. But here are my postcards. So I actually got a fair collection in the end, and they're all like written, fully covered, but on the front and back. So yeah, I'm gonna bind these all together and make a little kind of book that I can read through. Oh, and my Kindle. Mum and I are avid readers, so we both brought our e-readers to read everything on. One of the flights we have to take to get to Europe from Australia is like 13 hours long. So on both there and back, I read an entire book. And that would be everything. But I also brought a little purse. And this little back zip on the back of my purse was honestly so nice, especially when we were in London, because we were constantly getting on this, the underground. You need to tag on and tag off. And Mum had to keep getting her purse out of her bag and getting a card out and scanning the card, whereas I could just like slip it down the back here, and honestly it made life so easy. But this is just basically what I take with me every day normally. So I had my phone, AirPods, glasses and sunnies, as well as my EpiPen, because I always need my medicine on me. I also have like a little pouch full of medicine in case I need it while I'm out and about. I also brought a little journal while I was away. So I have my journal and pencil just in there, and I used it a lot on the train. Again, so many journals. This one's a bit different. This is like kind of my life. I have this all recorded on Notion on my laptop, but I wanted a physical copy of kind of who I am. So it has like some of the things I love and photos I love that I printed out, and things I want to do and places I want to see and music I've listened to. So that's all in there. It's a little journal of me. I brought some cards. So we've got like my driver's license and my university card, so I can get discounts and stuff like that. So that's everything I took to Scotland. For a whole month we road tripped everywhere. Pretty much the perfect amount. I definitely wouldn't want any more. My mum and I very much like to travel and see places and explore, and if you have to lug your suitcase all around and if it was heavy, that wouldn't be fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. There's a link to my unpacking video coming home from 9 months traveling Europe. Again, I did that trip with a 20-litre bag, so about the size of my day bag on this trip was my main bag, which I can't even comprehend. But anyway, like and subscribe for more videos. There won't be any travel content for a while, but I am starting my Ironman training up again, if you want to see that. Otherwise, check out all my other videos, a bunch of travel videos. Yeah, I'll see you next time.